You're listening to Combat Radio with Ethan Dettenmeyer, right here on LA Talk Radio.
All right, time to start the show. Some exciting news, as you heard prior at the top. Mark Ryan, Bumblebee, the big robot as we call him, will be down with the cast of Black Sails July 18th to preview the first episode of the Starz Network pirate epic. We will also be not too far from him, or maybe far from him. I have no idea what the layout of this convention's like, but we'll be at the Mattel booth with Dirk Benedict, our buddy in the A-Team. Also, we're going to give away some tickets where you can go up to Universal with us and ride, the Transformers ride, with Mark and myself, Bumblebee. And he was also Jetfire, and you were a bunch of the other guys. So some exciting things coming up at an auction for Combat Radio. Plus, also, if you go to the Cafe Press /Combat Radio shop and you buy yourself some gear, it all benefits the Peace Fund through August, which, as you know, that's the show I produce on Wednesdays, Peace Fund Radio with Adrian Paul of Highlander fame for the Peace Fund. We just played a celebrity soccer game and put some respirators in a children's hospital, so we actually are very proud of ourselves as of late.
Great.
But,
well done.
Yeah, we try around here. So get to the store, buy some gear, and outfit yourself. Now, going around the room, Mark Ryan, we're privileged to have him back after his tour of duty in South Africa. He is in one piece. Stephen Appel is joining us for sports a little later. He'll contribute throughout. He's got his StephenAppel.com shirt, which we all think he should go in the Radio Hall of Fame for.
I admire that,
brilliant.
Stephen. I do.
Yes, we do admire it. He thinks. I think your family thinks we give you a hard time, but I think we're so impressed by
they love it.
We're so impressed by the idea of having a shirt with your name on it. Just the blazenness of the marketing strategy.
The next one, I'm stepping it up. I'm going collared button-up shirt, and it's going to be nice embroidered.
Nice. Get yourself a little logo.
And
like
this is LA, baby. I mean, you know what I mean? Shout it out.
Shout it out indeed. Now, actually, with us is I've been waiting to actually have this conversation for a long time. We've got a bit of an icon. If you know anything about, to start with, how about the film Midway, the classic World War II film Midway,
Great film.
with everyone from Charlton Heston to Henry Fonda to James Coburn, Cliff Robertson, Robert Mitchum, Glenn Ford. Yeah, that movie. Well, this guy had probably the coolest role in the movie, and then he jumped to be an icon kicking indoors with Kojack and has done everything from 1408 to, well, the ladies love him for Knots Landing, but we'll skip over some of that here. But this guy, Kevin Dobson, who's a brilliant actor and a guy we're privileged to have on the show. How are you today?
Hey, I'm doing good. I'm here, man.
Yeah, you are here, buddy. This is actually, you did, it's funny. When I started off in the Warner Brothers mailroom, I deliver mail to Frank Curiosity's office, and he had a Midway poster hanging behind his desk.
Outrageous.
Yeah, because that was like his, I guess, the claim to fame, the movie that got him really rolling in the business. And
One of the things about Midway, and I'll tell you some other things about it, but one of the thrills was meeting Mae West. We were shooting Kojack. It was during the 70s that we made Midway, as I was doing Kojack. And she came down to the set one day with the PR entourage from Universal and signed the Mae West vest, the thing that keeps you floating.
Yeah.
So she signed to have a picture of that.
nice,
That
very
was
cool.
That was the big thrill. But Midway was fantastic, and the character that I played was Ensign George Gay.
Right.
And he was the technical advisor on Midway, and he really had an interesting story. In the movie it shows that he was shot down. It was Torpedo Squadron 8. They made initial contact with the Japanese. And he let his torpedo go, and he didn't see if it hit or not. We assumed that it did because he was on target. But then he was shot down as he crossed the bow, went into the ocean, and came out. And as he came to the top, he made eye contact with one of the admirals, like Yamamoto, or one of those guys. And he recalls making eye contact with this battleship admiral, and off they go. Now, 30 hours later, 29 pounds that he lost, we have a scouter plane that's coming out looking for the fleet, looking for the Japanese fleet. They spot George Gay. They spot a boat, a small attack boat, coming back looking for Gay that the Japanese admiral had sent back, and they started firing upon. They started firing upon the scouter plane that was looking for the Japanese. Now, they were not armed. The crew talked the captain into going down, making a pass to pick up George Gay.
Wow.
Now, in the movie, they land, they row over, and they pull him into that pontoon. But what actually happened was, and you saw it in the old Navy movies with the frogmen and stuff, They scooped him
Scoop
out
him up.
as they were moving. They hit the water, skid along the water, and scooped him up as they were being fired upon. And with that, they found out in which direction the Japanese fleet had gone, radioed in, and that was the start of Midway.
Isn't that unreal? That story you just told about this individual. Can you imagine being on something like that where you go over the bow and get shot? You're on that ride,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna hit the water and go. I'm sure he had to wonder, like, do they know I'm here? Does anyone know I'm here? And then to make contact with the enemy, eye contact. I mean, just that brief story you told tells just the huge ramifications that opens up when you think about it.
Well, when they spotted him in the water, as I recall him telling me this, he was giving a motion in which direction, waving his arm, in which direction the fleet went. So,
Wow.
and that's when they radioed it back, and then they started to follow it, and then Midway started.
So you're sitting back going, yeah, I'm playing this guy.
Yeah, I'm in the water here.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good. Hey, listen, anybody looking for sharks around here? I'm not ready for this. Get me out of here.
Right. Where did they shoot it?
That part where he was out in the water was out off of Long Beach
Oh, nice.
in San Pedro. Yeah, that area. That
So-
was nice. But Stage 12 at Universal, we had all the planes and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was
And then
gonna
they
ask.
used portions of Tora, and Jack Smite directed that, and that was fantastic. It was just great. Now, I'm from Jackson Heights, which is in Queens, New York.
No,
I
are
grew,
you?
I grew up looking at the Empire State Building, which was like 3 miles away. You felt like you could touch it. Now, my father was a janitor who worked for a Lady of Fatima church, school, rectory, convent. And we had a movie theater up on 82nd Street and Roosevelt Avenue called the Jackson Theater. So when Midway came out, he had my name above the title up on the marquee.
Oh, excellent.
Kevin Dobson in Midway.
I love it. Kevin Dobson and Charlton Heston and
That's
Henry
right,
Fonda
that's right.
with Cliff Robertson and Robert Mitchum.
Taking care of his kids.
I love it. Midway, sorry, Kevin Dobson.
I'm it. I'm the guy.
And then somewhere down the line, Eric Estrada gets an honorable mention,
Yeah,
right?
he was in it too. Yeah, that guy. Yeah,
Yeah,
whatever.
what do you ever
Where's
do?
your motorcycle?
Get back on your motorcycle.
Get out of here.
You ever
This is
sit
my
back-
neighborhood.
Were you ever walking around going, man, I'm making a movie, and it's got about every Hollywood legend that's alive at the time in it?
That was incredible.
Every
because
scene shifts to some legend.
I mean, really the luck of the draw. I played George Gay. Now, I traveled with him doing PR for the movie, along with
Wow.
Charlton Heston and Henry Fonda, and we went to Washington, D.C., where we're making the rounds. We're brought into the war room. We have lunch in the Pentagon. It was unreal.
What an experience. How do you live that up? How do you go for, where do you go after that?
I don't know.
It's because, I mean, even like, one of the great roles in that film for me is Hal Holbrook as the code breaker. And the funny thing about it, you get to him, you've seen so many, Glenn Ford and Robert Mitchum's in this scene, and then, Robert Wagner's over here, and James Coburn walks in to make sure the mission is up to Washington standard. It's just like so unreal. It's like you almost watch the movie just to see who comes through the door next.
It really was. You mentioned Hal Holbrook. The first job I ever had in a movie was called The People Next Door, and I was Hal Holbrook's stand-in.
Oh, were you?
It was cool, very cool.
Yeah, and then, did you tell him that when you were working with him? Did you see him on the set? Probably at different schedules.
No. I was with Henry Fonda.
Yeah. I was too busy hanging with Henry
You were
Fonda.
slimming it with
Hanging with Hank and Chuck.
Yeah.
And you know what I love about it too is we kick the shit out of the Japanese. Where Tora, it's all about us taking it. But at Midway, man, we give it back full throttle.
Really, they show that about 5-6 times a year.
I know, it's brilliant, and
It is.
it always makes the cut on Veterans Day weekend and Memorial Day weekend, as it should, But you got the pivotal role, man. Everyone remembers the role of Gay
It was
going down in the
fascinating,
water.
He was quite something. He was shot down 2 times after that and became a bad luck charm. And he ended up being isolated, not by his choice, but people, other pilots and stuff,
Yeah,
and
thought he
part of
was
the crews thought,
a bullet magnet.
You're over there, What'd you call him?
A bullet magnet.
A bullet magnet. Wow. Yeah. So
I
that
would've
was
thought
it.
he would've been
And when
good
he
luck.
retired, when he got out of the Air Force, he ended up working for TWA, and he made the flight over the spot for 29 years going to London.
Really?
Wow.
You're listening to Combat Radio with Ethan Dettenmeyer, right here on LA Talk Radio.